Hey guys, what's going on? This is RJ, Game News USA here. And today I want to go over the slate of Thanksgiving games we got because they're very interesting and I have a lot to say about all six teams involved. So if you like this kind of content, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And let's jump into it. We're going to go in chronological order of how the games played. The Green Bay Packers defeated the Detroit Lions 31-24. And we're going to start with the winning side, followed by the losing side. Now, when it comes to the Packers, I believe, I didn't think this before, but I'd be honest, you're looking at a serious contender. You're looking at a team that could go into Detroit, into that building, on Thanksgiving, and beat the Lions. A team that manhandled the Lions in week one. A team that, if they play up to their potential, is as good as any team in the league. When Jordan Love is on, he's on. And the Packers are hard to beat. The question is consistency. Good news for the Packers is they seem to play up and down to their competition a little bit. So it seems like some of the games they've lost were against teams that aren't even going to be in the playoffs. So, like I said, they actually perform really well against teams that are playoff worthy. And I do think playing in Lambeau Field would be a hard place to play. Of course, you got the Bears right there with them in that division. I think most people think the Packers will end up with that division. And if the Eagles continue to struggle, the Packers could position themselves maybe as high as a 2 seed. If they somehow get the 1 seed, good luck for the rest of the NFC. Now, on to the Lions, where I have a little more to say. So before the year, the Lions were my Super Bowl pick. I thought, hey, the defense was banged up really bad. Now they're going to be healthy to go along with that offense. What I didn't account for was, and what I didn't take too much stock into, was the fact that Jared Goff just does not do well under pressure. And so many of these teams have built super defensive lines, whether you're talking the Eagles or the Packers. And the Lions just can't get it done outdoors. And they struggle against good teams. They know how to run up a score against a cupcake, but they seem to always lose against a team that is really, really good. And this stung because it was at home too. Now the Lions are on the outside looking in to the playoffs. They even struggled to beat the Giants. They lost to the Chiefs. They lost to the Packers in week one, outdoors. They lost to Philly as well, outdoors. So, if this team were to make the playoffs, if they were a wild card, no one should even be worried about them. And that's a shame to say. All right, moving on to the middle slate of games. We had the Chiefs losing to the Cowboys 31-28. This is probably going to go down as the most watched regular season game in NFL history. In fact, this entire slate of Thanksgiving games mostly delivered what was anticipated to be the best slate of Thanksgiving games of all time. This game was very good. Mahomes played very well. Dak played very well. But we got to start with the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys will make the playoffs. But they have absolute positive momentum. They just beat the Eagles. And they just beat the Chiefs. They are a juggernaut at home. They are. They probably will beat the Lions next week. Who knows? They're in a situation where the more they win, the better chance they have. I gotta credit their fight. On the flip side, the Kansas City Chiefs. I know and me, myself in particular, we have all, as a collective community of non-Chiefs fans, we have definitely ate crow over the last 5, 6, 7 years. But I can't run away from a take. I can't run away from how I'm feeling after watching this. And more than any other loss the Chiefs have had this season, I feel like it's over. Starting with the fact that the Chiefs aren't going to win the division. The Patriots streak of 11 divisions in a row will stand. The Chiefs will end at 9. I feel confident in saying the Chiefs won't reach the AFC Championship game, meaning the Patriots streak of 8 straight AFC Championship games will remain intact. The Chiefs stop at 7. And all these claims I'm making, they're not definitive. And if it were any other team, we would have already wrote them off. But I am going to make definitive statements. If I have to eat crow, I have to eat crow. This is not me going out on a limb. This team is 6-6 for a reason. This team's going to miss the playoffs. They need to win out. 11-6. Could it get him in? Probably. 10-7, probably not. I'll give you the math on that in a second. But it's not just over for this year for the Chiefs. This feels like the end of the dynasty as a whole. You're talking about a team that is 1-6 in one-score games, an area they were great at. You're talking about an aging defense, an aging coaching staff, an aging tight end, and, you know, I'm not going to knock on Mahomes too hard. He had a great game. But he's had his moments where he has just not got it done this year. I think the Chiefs' time of going to Super Bowl after Super Bowl is over. And we have real evidence that that's finally happened. But let's talk about these playoffs for the Chiefs and what needs to happen. They've lost the tiebreaker to the Chargers, to the Jags, to the Bills. Those are the wild card teams in front of them. They're all 7-4. The Chiefs are 6-6. What does that mean? It means if the Chiefs do not win out, which means they lose one more game, in order to reach the playoffs, they would need either the Ravens or Steelers, who don't win the division, to fall out. And they would need they would need one of the 3 wild card teams to fall out hard. What does falling out hard mean here? It means between the Bills, the Jags, and the Chargers, one of those teams would need to lose 4 of their last 6 games. Now, I don't believe any of them will. One of them might, but I don't believe any of them will. And then the Chiefs also have to deal with the Texans. But I feel that's pretty self-explanatory. They play each other next week. Good news for the Chiefs. They're 3 tough opponents. The Texans, the Chargers, and the Broncos, they're all at home. They all play them in Arrowhead. And they also play the Titans and Raiders on the road, which should be cupcakes. They can win out. They can. But remember, this is a team that is bad on the road, bad in close games, and bad against AFC teams in particular. what the hell do you think an AFC wildcard is going to be doing? They're going to be on the road against good AFC teams. For the Chiefs to win a Super Bowl, they probably have to win 9 straight games. Their last 5 regular season games and 4 playoff games as a road wildcard team. Only 2 road wildcard teams have won the Super Bowl in the last 20 years. Or 15 years, or however long it's been. The Packers did it in 2010 with Aaron Rodgers, and Brady's Bucks did it in 2020. And so you're talking about a once-a-decade achievement. Could the Chiefs do that? Maybe. Maybe. But should we be done counting on that? Yes. Should Vegas be done calling them the Super Bowl favorites all the time, every time they win a single game? Yes. It's time to give up the ghost. Moving on to the final game of the night. I predicted a Bengals win, and the Bengals won huge. 32-14. Some people said Burrow shouldn't play. Bullshit. The Bengals actually have just as much of a chance as the Chiefs to make the playoffs. They really do. In fact, I'm about to show you how. So the Bengals are currently 4-8. They currently have the tiebreaker over the Steelers and the Ravens. They're 2 games back, guys. So 2.5 from the Steelers. Steelers play the Bills. Bills take care of business. Steelers are 6-6. Okay. Bengals went out 9-8. Is 9-8 good enough to win the division? Well, that would mean that the Bengals would have beaten the Ravens a second time. That means maybe the Ravens and the Steelers split. The Ravens have the Patriots on their schedule. Steelers are falling apart. It's in the realm of possibility. They could chase down that division crown. Oddly enough, if they chase down that division crown, that might actually open the door for the Chiefs to get in. Because if the Ravens and the Steelers fall off, maybe the Chiefs could get in. But you still have those other wild card teams to deal with. I don't know. But it's good to see Burrow back. As for the Ravens, they're on a 5-game winning streak. Pump the brakes on being concerned about the Ravens. Because of all the stuff that I just said about the Bengals, which I know they will be competition maybe for the division. And as much as the Steelers right now is in first place and is in competition for the division, at the end of the day, I think the Ravens are going to win that division. And I feel about 70% confident in saying so. So about 20% Steelers, 10% Bengals. About 70% Ravens. That's how I'm feeling. So pump the brakes. Don't be worried. The defense is playing so much better. Lamar's going to get in rhythm. Maybe they get hot at the right time, and maybe this is just the kind of thing they need to spark a fire under their ass when they actually get to the playoffs. So with that being said, guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for the big support. Comment on your way out. This is RJ signing out. Have a good one.